Mm, thank you. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So just give you a report. Carol and her husband are home, and um, he is apparently. I haven't had a real report about the success of the operation.
Mm.
Um, he is recovering as well as could be expected. It's really a difficult recovery, apparently.
Well,
So,
it was a very long surgery, right?
oh yeah,
I mean, that alone would, yeah,
yeah.
be very difficult.
It
Yeah.
was it was an all-day surgery.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So,
That messes up everything in your body.
yeah, no kidding. So anyway, Carol and I are in touch every few days, so I at least have some idea of what's happening. And
Good.
she had um, said it was really fine to share with you. So
Good. Well, share back that we're thinking of her.
I will.
Yes.
So questions, thoughts, what's happening?
Well, in the report, I kind of had a tiny aha moment
Mhm.
of, yes, David's told you this before. I'm trying too hard. I feel like when I get into the meditation, I'm like, okay, I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm trying too hard.
Mm.
So it was like, okay. But it was a tiny aha moment of, oh yeah. And I think because I felt it,
Uh-huh.
maybe it'll stick a little bit
Mm-hmm.
better.
Mm-hmm.
You
Did
know,
you have any immediate response in your meditation? I mean, did it change?
it changed a little bit physically.
Uh-huh.
It
Okay.
felt like there were things that were just like all of a sudden going, oh, you don't have to work this hard. And and I think I probably because I was more aware of the physical thing. There may have been other things in the meditation that came out of it, but it was just such a physical.
Good.
So
Well, that's no, that's a good thing. Absolutely. Anything for you, Joanne?
Well, yes, I think I might have said last week too. I mean, this is, I'm fascinated by discovering inner space. I also find it challenging. Trying not to reread these notes 3 times now. I don't want to overthink it, but I do feel like, and maybe it's a different kind of aha moment, but I do feel like, oh, every time I read it, I'm like, oh, okay, oh yeah, I get that a little better now, because
Mm.
I feel like if I d- don't kind of get to that point, then when I'm trying to meditate, I'm going to be like, what was that again that he said in the notes? You know what I'm trying? Trying to get past that and just feel a little more. So as I go into meditate, yeah, a little more comfortable that I can kind of get past all of the uh what is it? Whatever's happening, whatever animal is jumping around in there. The monkey, the donkey, the whatever, the horse.
Yeah, the Bucky doors, fine.
Monkey horse, the horse, monkey on the horse.
Yeah. So I might just mention that we're going to deal with this. It's starting to say question of inner space, really introducing
Uh-huh.
uh, the endeavoring to access um,
Yeah.
inner space for a while. This is not over. And
No, and yeah, I think at the end of last class, and I think even at the end of the notes, you're like, yeah, on to number 2 next week.
right.
So yeah, we will continue this in part 2. So
And actually, when we get to it, today's lesson contains a couple of exercises that I found really significant. So not specifically meditations, but rather exercises that help us access our awareness to inner space. So anyway,
Good.
I would like you to do a bit of heaven and earth
Heaven and earth.
and get your energy moving and open up.
And what do you mean by a bit, David? Until you say stop?
No, do 10.
Do 10. Okay.
I think that's
That's a bit. Yep.
a good acceptable amount.
If I can, if I can hold track. I always lose track of the count.
Sorry.
And we had an interesting discussion yesterday about counting.
Yeah.
Sideways?
It can be a meditative practice.
Absolutely. I will start by saying your 1 and 2 are hugely improved.
I can feel the energy.
Good.
Sometimes it's kind of this wave-like thing.
Mhm. Good. So, one of the things I would want to remind both of you about is the necessity to, in our principles, to keep the body moving and not get
Mhm.
stuck anywhere.
Mm.
So it's interesting that 1 and 2 seem to be quite good. You want to make sure that you keep extending up and out all the way until you make contact at the base of the skull. And then it reverses and begins to go down, and slowing that down so that you're able to keep going down to this point
Mhm.
and then going up. And keeping this movement continuous all the way through. So the two places that I saw a tendency to get stuck were thinking too fast here so that you ended up with a stop where you were making this movement. And here, too doing too fast so that the body stopped as the arms continued and then it came in. And in that movement of 5, one of the difficult things is not to lift the shoulders much at all. And that's a difficult movement to do that. So being aware there that you are circling the elbows. So this movement doesn't have to be up here because now the shoulders are up.
Mm.
This can be down here. It's more here where the hands are passing the body. You are still trying to make sure you're making that circle, but not lifting the shoulders.
But not, yeah.
Okay. Either of you have a question at all?
No, thank you for going over that last one. I think that, as I mentioned yesterday, I kind of, as my hip had been hurting, I've been raising my shoulders too much just all the time. So I was aware of that. And I also found in that the more I concentrate on the energy, the less I'm worried about the posture, and the energy kind of helps with that. Although I think I have to work on that more. But that was kind of one of my this morning. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't need to be doing all these things. Yeah.
It's difficult making that transition between the necessary thinking about where you are and what you're doing to allowing the movement to flow and move the energy and to feel that energy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Good.
Good. Yep.
Coming along. So back to inner space. When you focus on your conscious thoughts, they're happening at such a speed that you can't interpret them. But one of the things that a really good mental hypnotist can do is actually slow you down. They can help you to see what is happening between some of your thoughts. So you actually recognize what's going on. But most people are unable to do this on their own. They have no idea what's going on. But that doesn't mean it's not happening. For instance, if someone um, put tacks underneath the pad of your seat without telling you, so you didn't know it was there, and it was just enough pain to make your nerves really, your nervous system react, but not enough to make you go, ouch. You might sit on that chair for hours and not know it was there. But in an hour or two, you would start to get seriously uncomfortable and get weird thoughts because your distressed nervous system is going to reach a threshold where the water goes over the dam, and you're not going to know what's going on, but you're going to be getting seriously grouchy and uncomfortable. So looking at this from the Chinese point of view, we have a yin and a yang, and you're going back and forth between them. In the middle of this is a very neutral quality that will encompass both of these, the yin and the yang, and yet it will be neutral. It will be both yin and yang and neither yin and yang. So another way of putting it, it will be the thoughts that can shoot out from this thoughts shoot out from this ever flexing space and become either one of these polarities. So this is called Taiji in Chinese thought. So let's look at the way this space in the mind is neutral. This is the space that needs to be relaxed in water to inner space. So you will never get there by focusing on the yin and the yang. You just can't do that. You can initially focus on relaxing either yin and yang that pops up. And if you do it long enough and deeply enough, you will get relaxed and feel better. Excuse me. But between every yin and yang thought, there is this space in the middle. The thoughts are coming very fast, not slowly enough that you can be conscious of them. The speed and volume of them is too great for you to be aware of them all. Even though each one could pop up into an entirely conscious thought or an internal image. excuse me, or into your own internal dialogue or soliloquy. So each of us has a particular speed at which we are able to recognize them. It is completely separate from whether what you can recognize is really happening or not. If you try and focus on each individual thought, you can't do it. It took the Buddha sitting 7 years, more than 20 hours a day, day in and day out, to arrive at a point where he could be conscious of each thought. And beyond that, he could be aware of how they were happening at the unconscious mind level. So even though we understand what we need to do at the intellectual level, it will take enormous effort to actually do so. So that even if you work at it very steadily, you'll probably only recognize one thought a second, or one common thought that will appear. Between each thought popping up, there's going to be a space. That is the space you need to continuously relax and let go of as much as any thought that comes your way. Now, when we talk about the energy behind and the energy behind that, we are really talking about all those little spaces and thoughts in between the ones you are able to recognize. So I want you to do an exercise, and I don't want you to look directly at me. I would suggest you turn your chairs or whatever, and just so you are not distracted by looking at me. So we want to start just simply. Now we're going to do this with eyes open, so don't close your eyes. But take a moment and just sit, be aware of your structure, and feel your breathing. Let it slow and lengthen. Let yourself be just as aware as you possibly can. Now you're going to take your finger and feel like a pendulum. Don't focus your eyes on the finger. Just let the finger flow back and forth before your eyes. And then there's going to be a series of feelings or sensations or recognition. These are all thoughts. Whatever they are, they're your thoughts, not mine, just your thoughts. You start to do this. Let yourself become aware of what you feel. Where you feel these movements create a tension or contraction, a holding or a freezing. At every one of these freeze points, you have just gone into your unconscious mind. You not have the faintest clue what's going on. Just get the idea. You have gone into your unconscious mind. Something has happened. Where buying your finger a little further away or a little closer to you. See if that makes a difference. We'll find that there is one speed that works better for you than another. Pay attention to this and become aware of it. This is the first point you have to get. Otherwise, it is if you're ignoring it. Now, this next part can be a little tricky. Without trying to get every specific point, just start having a sense of letting go of any place, tension, or thoughts that you have, anything that comes up. Just let it go. Recognize it and let it go. Watching your finger, not looking at it, moving in space. We're looking for a counterpoint right now. So you can begin to recognize the tension inside of you. It really doesn't matter if it's emotional or mental tension, because tension is tension. We tend to think of emotions as different from thinking and different from our bodies. But this is not the view of the Taoists. Your finger moving, find the speed where you begin to connect. Either too fast or too slow, and you'll miss it. Trying to find the speed where you connect with your thoughts. Just pause and relax for a few minutes. If we look at the nature of how any conditioning happens, it doesn't actually matter what anyone thinks, whether you think you are right or wrong, it's right now. But give it a bit of time, and who knows if it will be right later. What, what does matter is that you are extremely coherent inside, and that it makes sense to you, that yang and yin flow smoothly inside you. Because then you can be relaxed. When problems happen, one thought fighting with another. One thought on the surface is there, but underneath another is going. And you don't know it, and you get tense. Now, understand that this word tense is to refer to your thoughts, fixating on your body, fixating on your emotions, fixating. In terms of water to inner space, what is even more important is how you experience the totality of your being fixated. Now, if nothing fixates, you can go from each thought to the next one, no matter how crazy it is. Starting from the presupposition that nobody knows if anything you think or feel makes any sense or not. Taoists don't intrinsically think that anything makes sense. But if it's natural, it makes a flow. At least it makes sense to you. If at some point you get a sense that a thought is kind of daft, change it. But you can't change it and go another way if you're fixated and frozen. So in every fixation and freezing, you may feel the nails down the blackboard response. So how do you feel or experience the nails down the blackboard? Are you silently screaming, or the woe is me type? There's a very wide range of how people deal with this tension. So I know I can kind of go around in a circle. But if your thoughts smoothly move from yin to yang and don't get stuck, then most of what we call problems can drift away. The space that allows that to happen is the expression of water to inner space. And it is innate space. It is the innate space of the mind, which has no qualities, which has no fixation, which is completely open, nothing in particular. This is water to inner space. This is the Tai Chi point, where both yang and yin appear. To do this, you can focus on it like a laser beam, because when something is in a continuous state of fixating, any point you focus on, it is just the next movement of the flux. It is useless. It may make you feel better, or you may even get some temporary relief, but you won't get enough of it to get that flow to go on between the yin and the yang. Now, how many people, when they think they are right, can't see if they are right or wrong? Is there anything any of us believe we are right about that we would be willing to bet on the chopping off of our legs? That would be crazy and foolish, because we all have our opinions about what is right and wrong. And at the end of the day, who really knows? Everybody actually just hopes. So even if you are right and you decide to bet the farm, that's okay if you accept how it goes, however it goes. On the other hand, when you go into water to inner space, when you start looking at the space between each yin and yang, each of those freeze points, where enough of them connect up, you can let go of the binding force. You can let go of the contracting force of one to the other, and you will get a good flow. You're not going to become all-knowing or superhuman, but at least your insides will be coherent. Not too big a gap. We had not too long ago, we had a financial collapse that left all people wondering what was going to happen next. But actually, we have it pretty good. If you want to see what a depression really looks like, go to Africa or India, go to parts of central China. You won't have to guess what a depression really looks like. So nobody knows what's happening right now. And most of us can't necessarily change some of the things that are going to happen to us. It's 100% sure that everyone will do everything they can to make things come out okay. If not, you must have serious masochistic tendencies. We just don't have the ability to let go of our own mind enough to remain smooth, no matter whether you get right or lose everything. The world is ever changing. You just don't know what is going to happen next. Nobody does. What you do know is what's inside you. If you focus the same attention that you focus on externals, on whatever's inside you, you can start to get a smooth flow of yin and yang. And this allows you to adapt as best you can. And that's all there is to say about that. Bruce said that that there are two ways you can teach meditation. The first one is that you put out the information, and so that So at first, you have a sort of coherent high, but that will fade. The other way to understand what the process is and what can actually help you do it, and then you do it. Some people better than others. Some people worse, just like anything else in life. So again, sit. And go back to your finger. Just at whatever speed allows you to track the sense of thoughts coming up and dropping, coming up and dropping, coming up and dropping. So this is just like task one. Just recognize that stuff is happening. Forget about what is or is not. What is fine or not. Things happen. Let yourself flow into our second practice and start noticing the gap or space between anything popping up. Because there is a space, where the mind game is played. It's the space between the beats, not the beats themselves. Now let go of your finger and let your eyes close. Just relax as best you can. And notice the spaces between when a thought comes. It may be a conscious thought, or maybe just a sense of pressure, contraction, or image, or really anything. And in between each thought arising, there is a space. So as often as you can, just try to relax this space. There's always a tendency for the mind to get into it. This means that, that means this. This is what is going on. Or, oh, what weird pictures, or whatever. Don't fall for those traps. It is the method which the unconscious mind uses to distract you from being aware of what is going on. It's just a mechanism that the mind uses. It doesn't actually mean anything. Just recognize it for what it is. Feel a gap, another gap, another gap, and another gap, until you get into the flow of just releasing each gap, until all the spaces start becoming one awareness, one feeling, one whatever it happens to be. And then relax that. Do your best to be aware and let go of any sense of your trying to use the strength of your mind, any sense you're trying to control or contract it, any sense you want to fight what's inside of it. Stay with it like a river going down the mountain to the ocean. Stay with it and relax whatever you are aware of. You lose track of what you're doing, or something else pops into your mind, don't hesitate yourself. Don't say, oh, I screwed up. Just keep going. Miss a piece of the river because you block out, don't worry. There is still a lot of river downstream. To stay with it, even though the bucking horse is throwing you around. Stay on the horse. Relax into it. Relax and let go. Go into the space between. Attempt to change anything. Not attempting to keep it alive or trying to make it die. Simply letting go and relaxing. It reaches a critical mass. You will find you're going into a much bigger place inside. This might be Sheen, the heart mind. It usually is. Everything you've been feeling, and just let go into the larger space. And some people just have an affinity for light or sound. Well, they are really both the same. The light more easily taps you into your yang, and vibration more easily attaches you into your yin. And at that level, it's not a matter of male or female, because it constantly shifts, and it simply depends on what is going on with you at that moment. Now, if one of them is present for you, focus on the light or vibration and let them relax and go. Let the whole inside of your being just merge with them. And this happens long enough. If it's going to happen, you go water to inner space. If you can truly let this stuff go, the maximum level of creativity that a mind is capable of just appears by itself. You don't have to do anything. You don't make it happen. It will just appear. And this is a very important point, because now you are in the place that makes the difference between if you are just relaxing or have the possibility of truly letting go. Relaxation does not create the possibility of letting go. It just makes things better. But if life has taught us anything, it is that if one can get better, but it can also get worse. And if things can get worse, they can also get better. This place you've arrived at is not a revolution. It is a resting spot. And just relax. Slowly open your eyes. Any last minute thoughts or questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Have fun playing with this.
Yeah, lots here.
Yes, there is. Have as good a week as you can.
Thank you. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Look forward to the notes. Thank you.
Of course.